Quick things I'd like to do before we get into our presentation here on the short lines. We call them short subjects, challenges, and economic opportunities. And the short lines really are of great benefit to Texas. I mean, they connect the smaller towns and the cities. You know, they work individually with the shippers, you know, folks that might only be shipping 1 carload a week or 1 carload a month or 10 carloads. And they really bring up economic opportunity to a much higher level than we give them credit for. And we're certainly glad to have the Short Line and Regional Railroad Association here as our partners. They had their meeting yesterday afternoon, and we'll be talking a little bit here in this next hour about some of the short lines and some new projects. I'd like to make a few acknowledgments first. We have a few people from the government sector that are visiting with us today and learning and educating too. From U.S. Senator John Cornyn's office, from Congressman Pete Sessions' office, Congresswoman Kay Granger's office, and Eddie Bernice Johnson. Texas Senator Don Huffines will be speaking. We have a representative from Senator Schwertner's office, the Texas Senate Transportation Commission Committee policy directors with us today, the Transportation Commissioner Jeff Austin, and of course Victor Vandergriff will be speaking at lunch today. The DFW High-Speed Rail Commissioner Bill Meadows. We have representatives of the ARC-LaTex Corridor Council from Sweetwater and Big Spring. Their economic development folks are here. San Antonio Mobility Coalition, Alamo Area MPO, the Gulf Coast Rail District, Federal Railroad Administration. We have a couple of county judges either here or their representatives from Leon and Dallas County. Mayors and council members, we welcome you from Wilmer, Keller, Marble Falls, Arlington, Fort Worth, and several other towns, and also our TxDOT state and federal affairs people as well. Welcome to the conference today. Paul Treangen is next. He is responsible for TNW Corporation's strategic direction, overall operations, development of their corporate culture, and fiscal performance in key metrics. He also serves as a member of the firm's board of directors. If you haven't heard of TNW before, you will very shortly. Very dynamic organization. Paul has more than 25 years of experience in railroads, mergers, and acquisition ventures, and senior executive leadership. Prior to joining TNW, he was the chief executive officer of Kahlo Railroad Builders. Will you please welcome Paul Treangen? Yeah, you'll go right or left on that. I'm not sure which way.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Well, good morning. I'd like to open by expressing my gratitude for the opportunity to speak with you today. I had the privilege of attending this meeting last year and was really impressed with the diversity of the folks who attend this. From educators, public servants, industry vendors, rail operators, and some who just love trains. It's important that we consider the impact that those who support the rail industry really have. And Texas Rail Advocates is a great example of that. This group is a not-for-profit grassroots organization with a mission to educate and be a resource for information. That being said, I'd like you to think back into the late 70s. The rail industry was a failing, dilapidated mess that was viewed as ancient technology whose time had passed. And without individuals and groups like Texas Rail Advocates, it's highly unlikely that abandoned lines would have been preserved or the Staggers Act passed to deregulate the rail industry. And deregulation attracted entrepreneurs, competition, and a new renaissance in the rail industry. And specific to short lines, over 250 new railroads were formed. So thank you for your support and vision and passion for railroading and coordinating events like this. We need your engagement. Like Eric stated, your voice is important in shaping public policy and critical to what our industry can become. So, let's talk a little bit about short line railroads. I'm going to give you some of the basics about them. It's defined as a Class 3 railroad, less than $37.4 million in annual revenues, and most were previously branch lines or larger railroads that were abandoned or spun off. These are standalone businesses, many privately held, and it's entrepreneurship at its greatest point, I think, because we're customer-centric, tailoring our service to customer needs, and our very presence creates a competitive hedge against truck rates. We're low cost and earn returns providing services that large railroads avoid. We provide competitive rates. We interface between customers and our Class 1 partners. We're the first and last mile of a freight move, providing very labor-intensive services. And we supply a complex industry rate and service platform to our customers. We simplify it. And we are aggressive in new business development and creating jobs and community growth. We reduce the public tax burden by significantly reducing the cost of roads, bridge construction, and maintenance. And in the United States, there's over 560 railroads, short line railroads, 560 with over 18,300 employees operating 50,000 miles of track in 49 states, and that's 38% of the rail network, serving over 12,000 shippers that employ over 1 million people. Short line railroads pay nearly $1 billion a year in taxes, and $310 million of that goes to the state and local, and on average that's 20% of revenue. And many are privately owned by entrepreneurs and families. Our infrastructure is built, upgraded, and maintained almost exclusively with private funds. We play a vital role linking rural America to Class 1 rail networks. And in Texas, there's 41 short line railroads representing 20% of the rail miles in the state. They employ over 1,000 people, handle over 387,000 carloads of freight, which takes 1,024,000 trucks off the road, saving an estimated $45 million in pavement damage. Our tracks and structures are built and maintained with private funds, and we pay significant taxes on property and earnings. Just yesterday, I wrote and signed checks for over $1 million for property taxes on our 3 railroads. We are the lifeblood of small towns, and it's hard to bring industry without rail options. We bring jobs, tax base, vitality, and growth. So a little bit about me. I have a long history in the rail industry. I'm very passionate about it. Most of my experience has been on the short line side with operations and some on the ownership side. And however, I did do a 2-year stint in the contractor side as well, and it gave me a great deal of respect for the value our industry vendors. We're privately held, family-owned company since 1982, located in Dallas. We have a long-term grow and hold investment strategy, and we own and operate 3 railroads. And these were all old, abandoned lines in terrible conditions. Without very many customers on them when we purchased the lines, they were independent investments with a vision to build and serve the communities. And today, they're in very good shape. They're profitable. They're growing. And we've also developed and operate 3 logistics centers, 1 on each of our railroads. We reinvest consistently to better serve our customers. And in 2015, we invested over $8.5 million into our infrastructure. Talking a little bit about our culture, our employees come first. We take care of them. They take care of our customers, and that drives a return for our owners. Train, review, recognize, reward. We share the upside. It's the beauty of being a small company. We live by our core values of integrity, safety, servant leadership, and quality. And these are some of the logos of our companies. On the left, you'll see our railroads, and on the right, our logistics centers. I'll tell you just briefly a little bit about our companies. The TXNW, Texas Northwestern Railway, we're located up in the Texas Panhandle. In business since 1982, located north of Amarillo at Sunray. Only 10 miles of mainline track. Our interchange partner is BNSF, but we serve several large customers up there. It's a growing business for us. And it's complemented by our Panhandle Logistics Center. It's a 640-acre facility that we've developed, one of the largest private car storage facilities in North America. And our second railroad is the Texas Rock Crusher, located in Brownwood, Texas. Started in 1998, 13 miles of track, and we interchange and partner with the BNSF. And this is complemented by our Camp Bowie industrial area. This is a partnership with Brownwood Economic Development and with the city. It's an old military camp that was turned into an industrial park, and it is really coming to life. And a big reason for that is because we've made significant investments into bridges, tracks, sidings, and 3 new customers have located in here in 2015. Our third railroad is the Texas Gonzales and Northern, formed in 1992, located at Harwood, 15 miles of track between Harwood and Gonzales. We interchange and partner with the Union Pacific Railroad, and it's located right in the heart of the Eagle Ford shale play. So this is complemented by our Eagle Ford Logistics Center, essentially a 500-acre facility, complete with loop track and full scope of transloading and rail services. So we've made these significant investments along with our railroad, and it really does make a difference with the economic development and jobs in the area. So overall, our companies have been blessed with good growth and development. Last year, we handled over 41,000 cars, and our customer and commodity mix is quite broad, serving large companies such as Valero, Halliburton, Vulcan, Gavilon, and Purina, and many small companies such as Wright Asphalt, Potters, Holmes Food, Jimco, and Fainer & Sons. We have strong working relationships with BNSF and UP, and we're carefully looking to grow, and we're not afraid of partnerships. So I want to go back a ways. Back when I was running a company called the Cedar Rapids and Iowa City Railway. It's a 50-mile short line in Iowa. And we experienced significant economic development success on that small railroad in a small town. We landed international companies from Korea, France, Germany. We also attracted big U.S. companies like ADM and Weyerhaeuser. It was obviously a very competitive situation with other states and railroads vying for those same plants. Yet, they chose to locate on a short line railroad rather than a Class 1. And they chose to locate in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, instead of another state or city. This brought new residents, jobs, tax base, housing growth, community improvements, highways, on and on. So why did they choose us? Well, a couple of things I think that were really important in that decision was the fact that our short line had a service and overall investment package that was attractive to them. And that was put inside a partnership that was forged with the state agencies such as the Iowa Department of Transportation and the Economic Development Commission, the city, our local utility, and the local community college. We work together for Iowa as a team. Now, many states have robust programs to assist short-line carriers. And as Eric kind of mentioned, despite being very pro-business, Texas does not. I believe the state of Texas is missing a significant piece of the economic development and growth puzzle by overlooking the short-line railroad industry. It also misses the benefit of maximizing private investment, which shifts the burden of more highways and maintenance from taxpayers. Many state representatives, senators, and staff who we have met with have been very honest with us in stating they do not know what a short-line railroad is, nor the economic impact of short-line railroads and what they bring to small communities. They're surprised at how many short-line railroads are in Texas, and many have asked for maps and assumed that short lines were part of the Class 1 systems and well-funded. So in short, it was positive news to them that short lines are self-funded and operated as small businesses, and they wanted to know more about our railroads and how they can help. And I think there's several things. There's several things that could be done to significantly help our short lines. Getting the story out and increasing the visibility of the value short lines bring to the communities they serve. Frankly, For small towns, it's like having an NFL franchise. It's that significant to them. New economic development programs to help with new rail service construction costs that are tied to jobs and tax base. And attaining increased funding and support for road crossing and signalization maintenance. Honestly, the crossings are for the benefit and safety of vehicles, yet they're a huge cost and burden to railroads. We need help reducing the number of crossings and creating new state programs to encourage private investment in infrastructure. And Eric touched on a couple of those. But tax benefits for infrastructure investment, state-backed rail finance options for upgrades, and we need your help. Number one, more focus on short lines at the future Southwest Rail Conference would be a good thing, I believe. Two, a stronger TxDOT rail division. We need an empowered rail division and director. Moving to Texas, I was very confused to learn that the Texas Railroad Commission has nothing to do with railroads. It's an oil and gas oversight. We need an engaged, spotlighted rail division with a voice to help create a balanced view of the transportation focus in Texas, including short lines. They should strive to implement best practices from other state DOT programs. There's lots of them out there that are doing very aggressive things, and they're reaping rewards for it, including Oklahoma. And if you have a holding company that's going to invest money into their railroad, and they're trying to figure out, should I put it in Oklahoma or should I put it in Texas, where are they going to spend their money if they have the tax benefits in Oklahoma and not in Texas? We need an educated legislature, viewing the big picture of transportation options and best uses of taxpayer funds. Rail should be a major player. I think we need to study and recognize the long-term savings of rail as opposed to building and maintaining more roads. We can only go so high with the bridges. Developing a legislative policy that encourages and recognizes private investment in the rail industry, which benefits Texas, is very important. And creating those funding options for economic development, specifically for rail projects. And I think catastrophic loss and damage support should also be considered. 4, a state economic development leadership that views short-line railroads as their partner. They need to know who we are and where we are, and work with us to create opportunities. Many companies would prefer to be on a short line for service and rate options, and this will help bring prospective companies to communities like Gonzales, Texas, that need them the most. Only short lines serve places like this. They could award rail grants based on job creation and tax basis. In Iowa, they had a program called RISE funds, and when you brought in a new company, it would pay $100,000 to help with the siding that went into the plant based on tax benefits and jobs created. And 5, the supplier and contractor voice needs to be heard. When short lines grow and improve, everyone benefits. The materials, the labor, the technology. The majority of the $8.5 million that TNW spent in 2015 went to suppliers of materials and contractors to help us build things. So we as an industry, the short line group, need to close this loop and strive to educate more people about the benefits we bring. I fully understand that much of this starts with me and our company, then joining with industry members to develop and share a concise message, but we do need your help. I offer my assistance in this process to all, especially our partners at TxDOT. Further, as stated, I ask for the engagement and support of Texas rail advocates, our industry vendors, educational leaders, and our communities. Education is key, and we all benefit. Sharing the win-win stories with the public will honestly make a difference. Thank you for listening.